Reservoir Dogs. In Simulacra and Simulation, cultural theorist and sociologist Jean Baudrillard distinguishes dissimulation from simulation. The former is pretending to not have what one does have, and the latter is feigning to have what one doesn't have. The difference here is absence and presence. Simulating an illness is to produce its signs, and therefore it is not pretending, but rather posing a threat to the distinction between notions of real and imaginary. In Reservoir Dogs, one can easily take Mr. Orange for dissimulating, as he seemingly pretends to not be an undercover cop and not possessing information vital to Mr. White and Mr. Pink's search to sniff out the rat.
For all we know, he's the rat.
Hey, that kid in there is dying from a fucking bullet I saw him take, so don't you be calling him a rat!
Look, I'm right, okay? Somebody's a fucking rat.
The truth is a bit more complicated. While in many ways Mr. Orange is dissimulating, the extended flashback sequences, mixed with what is to come, but for the viewer already has, suggest simulation instead. Eventually the method acting takes on a new level, to the point that he quite literally makes his fictive stories his perceived reality, which is visually reinforced as we see him physically present in the story that he tells, as he tells it.
Every nerve ending, all my senses, blood in my veins, everything I have is screaming, take off, man. Just bail, just get the fuck out of there. Panic hits me like a bucket of water. First there's a shock of it, bam, right in the face. I'm just standing there drenched in panic, and all these sheriffs looking at me, and they know, man, they can smell it. Sure as that fucking dog can. They can smell it on me.
Artifice reinforces artifice, until it is rendered hyper-real. It is taken a step further as Mr. Orange overhears a story within his story. As a sheriff tells a story to other cops, making layers upon layers of lies framed as truth. But this goes beyond the fiction because of how far Mr. Orange takes it. We believe his bond with Mr. White is real, because it is meant to be. So then, is Mr. Orange trading his identity for this new one? When he shoots the woman that shot him, was that his police-trained response in self-defense, or was that a newfound criminal instinct? Subtle facial expressions suggest the latter, but it's arguably both. Leading up to that moment, Mr. Orange runs with his partner in crime, armed with gun, and for a brief moment, it really does seem like that he's on his side. He maintains the role up until the point he saves another cop from being burned alive. But as Mr. White attests, and the mutual intimacy suggests, Mr. Orange isn't really the rat, at least not in how they, and we, are to understand this idea of a rat. Just about every original sign is lost, and what Mr. Orange was simulating becomes the newly defined hyper-reality.
So sorry. I'm a cat.
Mr. White finds Orange's final confession unbelievable, because quite frankly, it is. Exposing what he is seemingly dissimulating is at odds with the very purpose of dissimulating in the first place. He does this because he has found solidarity and brotherhood in Mr. White, and he admits this truth, if we can even call it that, because he has more or less become Mr. Orange.
Don't pussy out of me now. They don't know. They don't know shit. You're not gonna get hurt. You're fucking Beretta. They believe every fucking word because you're super